doing, and I felt my life change, in that moment. And it's like the sky exploding above me, and it was amazing. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Hello. So speaking of Jerome, I was wondering what was it like working with him, and is he coming back?
He's an extraordinarily talented man, as you all know. I mean, unbelievable. He delves very, very deep into his dark side of persona, and he would do interesting stuff like Danny would talk to me. He'd stay almost method out, I have to say. He'd listen to music constantly, and he'd only take his cans off to actually walk onto stage. And as you can, I've been around for quite a long time, and it's amazing watching someone like that when Aaron and Cam are on stage. The level he brought it down to when he's addressing a room like this, as you know, in the big sort of circus magic magician act that he does and everything like that, he took it down to such a level I couldn't hear him, and I thought, I don't know if he's doing this is quite right. It's only when you see it on screen you go, boy, does that man know what he's doing. He's an extraordinarily talented man, and we were so lucky to have him. And I think the premise of his characterization as well, and the fact that he sets the benchmark in many respects for the cult of Joker, I thought was phenomenally brave and talented. And did you see him in the cryogenically frozen tubes? I did. So there you go.
Wasn't he? So yeah, he would stay in character, off screen, and I unfortunately didn't have any scenes with him, but tell me a story about talking to you don't want to.
Yeah, so obviously I have a British accent. Don't know if you've noticed. I'm Welsh, and I don't stay in character, and I don't stay in my American accent when I'm not in the scene, because for me, dropping into the American accent helps me become Barbara. So I just am normal Erin when I'm walking around the set, and I noticed that Cameron was introducing himself as Jerome. So I was like, he's method, so he's in character all the time. So I didn't want to then go over and be like, oh yeah, I'm Erin, like in this super Britain, yeah, la la la, cups of tea. So I stayed away from him all day. I didn't talk to him once. I didn't introduce myself to him. I didn't say hi. And obviously we had loads of scenes together. So I would just stay away from him. He'd go on, he'd set up on stage and whatever, and then we'd do the scene, and I'd obviously be Barbara, and then at the end I'd just walk away. Then at the end of the day, we cut the last cut, and I was like, I'm Erin, and I've been dying to say hello to you all day, but I didn't want to mess you up. So he was like, oh no, you're totally good. It was totally fine, but it was amazing to watch him do that, and I have such respect for his acting, and I was so honoured to be able to do all those scenes with him, and I loved our relationship with each other. So hopefully they'll bring it back.
And everybody should watch Shameless if you're not already. He's absolutely
yeah.
fabulous performance by most of the cast, especially him. So yeah, thanks, Ed.
The character of Penguin being so intense, how hard is it to put that away at the end of the day when you go home?
It's interesting, yeah. Well, it's not. Okay, so I noticed this thing where on the days where Penguin is really empowered and he stabs someone a million times or whatever horrible thing he's doing, or if he's just he's on top. When he's on top, we could shoot for 15 hours, and I would come home and I would be like, we're going out. Let's go. Let's go get a drink. My adrenaline would be going so hard, and then it's funny, the other scenes, where he's lost his power, where he's being degraded, like you saw it in the last episode that just aired, when he's being heckled by the Arkham Asylum people and all of that. It affects you. I would come home and be the complete opposite, where it's just oh gosh, I feel like today was terrible, but it was great. We did everything great. Why do I feel so? That's it's interesting how the emotions bleed into your real life, even though I've taken off the nose and I'm back to my normal self for the most part. It's still the emotions are still residual. They're still in there. So yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you brought up, duality, Robin, because that's a reoccurring theme in the show, duality. And Aaron, when I think of Barbara, basically it's been two different characters, and so believable and so amazing on both ends. So what's been the most challenging part of that, and what's been the most fun of playing both ends of her spectrum?
Well, there's something. I don't know if it'll be a spoiler. Yeah, no, I won't say that. So it's been a challenge, definitely. It's been a challenge because I had to kind of rebirth her at the, you know, when I spoke about with Milo and stuff, and just making it as believable as I could, because what Robin said earlier, you know, we're trying to ground all this in reality in this wider world of complete craziness. So I just really wanted to give the audience that journey for her. So I had to really think about what was happening with her, and obviously we don't get the scripts, you know, in advance. So there's decisions you're making along the way that you're hoping are going to lead to the right kind of journey that people can follow. But just trying to have the most kind of real version of her in each of those states is what I'm doing, you know, so she doesn't get ridiculous, and so that it is believable, I hope.
Absolutely brilliant, and to the point where we root for her, even on this end.
I like that. I like people rooting for Bad Bob.
Well, I know, I told you before that my husband was really concerned that you were one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love that.
Hi, bud.
Do you ever go back and watch your performance?
Yeah, well, you know, we like to, we're encouraged and we enjoy live tweeting be on Twitter during the shows. So oftentimes, because of that, we're watching what happens, and so yeah, so we end up watching our performances quite often, actually, which is something that at first I never used to do it. Like it made my skin crawl. So it's really hard to kind of get used to. But once you sort of get over it, it becomes kind of enjoyable, just because you learn more about yourself and what you're bringing. You know, it helps to watch it back sometimes, but yeah. But it's different for everybody has a different experience with that. But yeah. Thanks, man.
What has social media done for your jobs? Has it changed?
It's bizarre. I mean, it's so when I went to school, when I went to theater school, you know, Twitter wasn't a thing, Facebook wasn't a thing. You know, it was, you know, there were message boards and all of that, but you know, it was really if you were interested in something, you would have to go and find it. It wouldn't just be like splashed on Twitter. And so there was no no one anticipated this. And you know, as someone who I hate reading reviews of my performance. Like it's the worst thing. The hardest thing about live tweeting is that it's basically you're reading in real time reviews of your performance. You know, so it's like you really have to kind of steel yourself and you know, try not to take it all too seriously, I would say. Yeah.
I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with social media. I'm very